Good morning, America. I just love it when this moment hits. Hope you're all well and fine this morning. Going to cover a number of topics in our show this morning. We're with you from 6 a.m., which it is now, till 9 a.m. this morning. And we're going to cover a host of topics relating to current news items, some info and information surrounding issues in our second hour around the ideas of self-reliant living. And then our third hour, we're going to cover a unique inventor and product that is ideal for the self-reliant prepper organization or group out there. That is a series of products that have been developed by a fellow by the name of Darren, who runs a product or runs a company. It's got a unique website. It's called Well Water Boy, and I encourage you to get out there. I'll give you information as we go forward. But the Water Boy products are very unique, and it's a hand pump machine that brings water up from your existing well, pedal powered PTOs, well buckets, tripod kits, a windlass hoist, a host of other products. He's got a YouTube page, kind of all about living off the grid and how you can accomplish that. So there are a number of products that he's got out. He's going to join with us in the third hour and give us an overview of those products. He's getting a lot of national attention about his products and services. And so I strongly encourage you to make sure that you're with us for the third hour and gather all that information that you can. We'll be willing to provide you with website information as well. You can get to his website at wellwaterboy.com. Well like is in a well of water, water like is in what you drink, and boy, B-O-Y. All right? So wellwaterboy.com. He also has been featured in the Mother Earth News in an article there called Living Off Grid, a Homemade Deep Well Pump. And that was just published in January of this year. And then he's got a YouTube channel which you can get to, and you can actually see these pumps in operation. So it's kind of unique and kind of interesting. I think you'll be impressed. If you are an individual who has a well and you'd like more information about that, make sure that you get out to see his website, because you'll get a lot of information from it. Okay, I want to remind those our March 30th reloading class is we're taking seat orders now for that class. It's $100 per person, and that class will teach you everything that you need to know to be begin reloading your own ammunition, and it'll be held here in West Plains. We've got two locations that we're looking at, and we're not sure which one, depending upon how many people come. So that'll be March 30th, and it's a reloading class. You'll also have the opportunity to actually purchase a press and dies and everything else you need right there that day. So make sure that you participate with us in that. If you're interested in any of the programs that we currently have out there, and I'll run through them for your benefit again, make sure that you send me an email to mike@americasvoicenow.org so that I can put you on that list. We have our TAC 1 pistol course that is also going to be taking place on the 23rd, and that's actually the 23rd and the 24th. That's a 2-day class. And these classes are limited in number because of the number of instructors that we have, and, of course, how many people we can and comfortably handle with each of those instructors for both the reloading and the TAC 1 pistol course. So make sure that you get me information ASAP, because those seats are filling up very, very quickly, and I don't want you to miss the opportunity for you to take that TAC 1 pistol training and or the reloading class. Pistol training, March 23rd and 24th. That's a weekend. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, and then the reloading is a Saturday on the 30th. If you're interested in our co-op, we did do a test or a pilot, if you will, on our first order. It was extremely successful, and so we're opening that program up to our broader audience. We had to do a test or a pilot first to verify and evaluate what we could and couldn't handle, and It was very, very successful, and so I would like for you to send me an email. If you want to participate in our co-op, I'll send instructions back to you for that. So give me an email at mike@americasvoicenow.org. That's mike@americasvoicenow.org. Okay. There's also the Amateur Ham Radio Club in West Plains this morning, and this is the second of a series of classes that will teach you everything that you need to know about ham radio. It's an entry-level course, so you don't have to know anything other than how to spell ham. How's that? And I think we can all handle that. So this is going on from 9 till noon, and it'll be held at the Howell County Ambulance Building that's right on K Highway. And you don't need to bring anything with you. Just show up for the class. But if you've missed this class, then you're going to have to wait for the next one because you can't miss too many of them. The first one was kind of like an introductory class. And John Price, the gentleman who's running that, said if you missed that first one, you could certainly go to this one and you'd be more than fine. So these classes are going to run like 7 weeks, 6, 8, 7 weeks, whatever it takes until everybody in the class is prepared and ready to go take the licensing exam so that you can apply for an application for a license. Ham radio, as you know, is CB radio, but on steroids. You can talk across the county, across the state, across the country, across the world. And ham radio is a great opportunity for you if you're into the prepper or the patriot community to work with the capabilities of ham radio and be a communications hub. It's also great for just natural disasters and emergencies of all kinds. You know, when Storm Sandy hit the eastern seaboard of New Jersey, cell phones were out, telephones were out. There was no way to communicate with anyone at all other than ham radio. So you got to remember the value of this system, and this will give you the basics of what you need to learn it. You can there's no charge for the classes. There is a $20 book you got to buy, and you can go to our website you can go to our website at americasvoicenow.org, click on the Amazon.com link, and then you can order the book there. It's called Ham Radio License Manual with CD. So it's $20. And but if you shop through the link on our website, you know, we get 3% or something like that. So, by the way, if you're going to shop at Brownells or Amazon or any of those kinds of places, we have links on our website for those. So please do us a favor, and it doesn't cost you anymore, but it does contribute a few shekels to our projects here and help defer our costs a little bit. So you can help us by going to americasvoicenow.org, clicking on the Amazon link. Type in the when you get to Amazon's website, simply in the upper bar there, type in Ham Radio License Manual with CD, and when you buy it through their Amazon, then we'll get 2% or whatever the heck it is. All right, so enough shenanigans. We are going to talk about some news stories this morning because there is a lot of things that are out there happening right now. If you're not familiar with it, the Department of Homeland Security freed over 2,000 illegal immigrants based on their claim that because the looming budget cuts under the sequester, they were going to be short for revenue or money, and so they were they actually released 2,000 of these illegal immigrants back into the community. Yup, you heard me right. Not hundreds as specified by the White House, that lying piece of trash up there. Not hundreds as specified by Napolitano, that lying piece of trash over at DHS. Literally 2,000, and let me tell you something. They were planning on releasing 3,000 more before people got wind of this and put a halt to it. They were going to cut loose 5,000 illegal immigrants into the United States without any authorization from anyone. Folks, if you want the definition of a dictatorship, that's it. All right. Except it's a dictatorship that subjugates its own people while giving illegal aliens free reign. What the hell's going on here? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this story because it's got my blood boiling, And I suspect if you really knew what was going on, it would have yours too. We'll be back in just a moment.
I know what you're thinking, Bunk. You're thinking, did he fire 6 shots or only 5?
Dirty Harry gets all his ammo from the battery station. John Rambo, you guessed it. He gets his ammo from the battery station, too. So if you need ammo, go to the place where the guys who know about ammunition go, the battery station. They have one of the largest supplies of ammunition in the area. So make sure you're stocked up and don't get low on shells. Go to the battery station at 303 Washington Avenue in West Plains.
Napa Auto Parts in West Plains has this breaking news announcement. If you've got a British car and it quits, if you've got a Japanese car and it quits, if you've got a German car and it quits, come into Napa Auto Parts in West Plains, right across from the Civic Center. They speak automobile fluently. Yes, they do. And may be able to help you find the right parts to bring your car new life. Call ahead to reserve parts, 256-0131, or stop by 311 St. Louis Street, across from the Civic Center.
All right, we're talking about the treason of releasing 2,000 illegal immigrants, and with plans to release 3,000 more under the Chicken Little Sky is Falling crap that's coming out of Washington. And this scum went and released 2,000 illegal immigrants into Arizona, California, Georgia, and Texas. And the White House, of course, stands there and says, well, we didn't know nothing about it. DHS says they were released in a regrettable fashion. Regrettable? Are you out of your mind? The White House says it wasn't even consulted about the release. Napolitano, what a traitor. They occurred in a manner in which I regret. You've got to be kidding me. Jay Carney, that pillar of lies who stands up there and tells the press every other story and pile of trash under the sun, said that it was only a few hundred. Well, it wasn't a few hundred. Now the word is out. It was 2,000, and they were planning on cutting 3,000 more. Suddenly, the White House has no comment. Gee whiz. Is that a surprise? ICE spokesman Brian Hale says Friday the numbers of immigration detainees fluctuate daily. You're kidding. Thanks for the tip-off. Beyond that normal movement, and as fiscal uncertainty remains over the continuing resolution and possible sequestration, ICE reviewed its detained population to ensure detention levels stay within ICE's current budget and place several hundred individuals on methods of supervision less costly than detention. At this point, we don't anticipate additional releases, but that could change. So he lied, because it was 2,000. You know what their less expensive method of supervision was? Promise to show up for your court hearing. You believe it? So you got people all over the nation who are being charged bail fees and charged bail for getting caught with a couple of joints in their sock. And they're getting charged $2,000 and $5,000 in bail. And these illegal immigrants, not undocumented aliens, they're illegal. They have crossed our border illegally. They are violators of the law and subject to all things under law and all punishment. And I'm tired of this crap about, well, they're really not. Yes, they are! They are not undocumented aliens. They are freaking illegal. Stop with the PC crap. I'm telling you, this government is acting in such treasonous fashion that I cannot believe I absolutely cannot believe, it is beyond my understanding, how this House of Representatives has not taken action to impeach this tyrant and his entire staff, all of his cabinet, and all of these czars, and all of his little ministers, and all of his minions. How far are you going to let it go, House? You going to let him declare martial law? I mean, this is unbelievable. We're doing our very best to minimize the impact of sequester, says Napolitano, but there's only so much we can do. Sequester is a joke. She's a joke. He's a joke. The only problem is that the laugh is on us. I'm telling you that our nation is coming apart at the seams like a cheap Chinese communist suit in the rain. And nobody, and I mean nobody, seems to care. I mean, this is beyond comprehension. This stuff isn't, I mean, it is beyond understanding how these administrations and all of their minions beneath them, all of their little evil boys and girls, can stand there and imprison Americans over the most nonsensical crap, destroy families and farms and businesses in the millions, but pat a bunch of illegals on the butt as they walk out of the jail like a football team. What the hell is wrong with you, America? Maryland Senate just passed a gun control bill that makes Feinstein's look like a kindergarten clause. If you live in Maryland, wait till you hear this crap. If you want your blood to boil, wait till you hear this one. If you live in Maryland, you've got to get fingerprinted to own a gun. Even if you are a current owner, you got to go and get fingerprinted. You got to take an 8-hour classroom study course. You got to pay for a more expensive background check, extensive and expensive, of course. And you will not be able to buy assault weapons or have a magazine that contains more than 10 rounds. Maryland, what are you waiting for? Your state has declared treason upon you. Revolt! Take those senators and make sure that you remove them from office with recall amendments right now. New York, same thing. Civil disobedience, and you need to storm your Capitol and stand out there with torches 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days if that's what it takes, until these senators and congresspeople are removed from office by a popular vote of the people. And if there's not a recall ability within your state, then you need to immediately, and I do mean immediately, declare mass civil disobedience. You'll do it peacefully and you'll do it legally, but you will immediately declare mass civil disobedience. You will not show up to get your fingerprints taken. You will not show up for an 8-hour classroom study. You will not allow them to do an extensive background check that you have to pay for. And you'll retain the assault weapons, and you'll retain the extended magazines that you own. And if your state government decides to go out there and start kicking in front doors, then you, as a collective group, need to take action. You need to call your state militia together and defend yourselves against the state in tyranny. New York, same thing. What are you waiting for? Meanwhile, the Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit has ordered Illinois to pass a concealed carry legislation. The Court of Appeals in Illinois has demanded They have required by June that Illinois allow concealed carry of firearms. So you've got two states, Maryland and Illinois and New York, who are acting like dictatorships, and then you've got the Court of Appeals, the federal court, who demands that Illinois must allow people to carry concealed, including in Chicagoland, gangster land, with the highest murder crime rate in the country. Unbelievable. Folks, if this does not show you how dysfunctional that this entire system has become, I don't know what will. The left hand can't agree with the right hand. The brain has no idea which foot to put forward. You know why? Because everybody stopped following the damned Constitution. Everybody. Not a single stinking legislator up there in states and or federal governments will even bother to follow the thing that they swore an oath to uphold. It is unbelievable to me. Nobody has their act together. Not anybody. No one is following their oath. Nobody. I don't know what more we can do as Americans. You know, this government is pushing everybody. Federal and state governments are pushing their people, their populace, into positions where we are going to have to start declaring mass nullification. Massive nullification. It's a principle that operates that says states who find a federal law unconstitutional can basically say it is null and void on its face. Guess what? The people can do the same thing to your state. You, as a state, want to pass a dictatorial mandate that violates the Constitution of that state and violates the federal Constitution? You, as citizens, have the right to say, no. This is null and void on its face. It is unconstitutional and unconscionable, and we will not follow it. America, start standing up for your rights. They're being stolen from you by traitors. Tyrannical traitors. Monsters. Liars. Thieves and cutthroats. If that's what you choose to allow yourself to live with, that's on you.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The sequester kicking off $85 billion in spending cuts is now underway. President Obama, in his weekly address, says Congress can still nip it in the bud.
These cuts are not smart. They'll hurt our economy and cost us jobs. And Congress can turn them off at any time, as soon as both sides are willing to compromise.
In the GOP response, Washington Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers says Congress and the president need to step it up.
And it's time we resolve it and get something done.
Cardinals in Rome meet on Monday to begin working on picking a new pope. Vatican spokesman Father Thomas Rosica asked for patience.
The cardinals they have to be in the rhythm of the meetings, get used to those meetings, and then in the course of next week, we'll be able to announce the beginning date of the conclave.
The Cardinals hope to select a pope by Easter. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Thanks to our friends over at Ozark Mountain Self-Reliance. You can reach Brian down there at 870-492-4030. It's located a half mile east of Walmart on 3225 Route 62, Mountain Home. My dear friend Mary over at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery, the best damn bakery in 100 miles. She's located at number 2 Evans Arcade, and you can call her at 255-2253. My friends over at Pizza Hut on Porter Wagoner Boulevard. They have an outstanding lunch opportunity. You can, from 11 till 2, and you can have salad and pizza, something tasty and something good for you. Our friends Bill Stone over at Stone Construction at 293-0116. If you're considering doing any kind of remodeling, new or custom construction and or light commercial, give Bill a call and let him bid on your next project. Our friends at the Battery Station at 303 Washington Avenue, 417-257-7799. They can be found at thebatterystation.com. Our friends over at West Plains Pawn and Gun, an outstanding opportunity with 400 firearms under glass. You can reach them at 417-256-3000 and they are located at westplainspawn.com. Located physically at Highway 160, about a mile past Walmart on the right-hand side. And finally, the sponsor of our phone lines, Wits End Classic Barbershop, located on the square in West Plains. Best haircut you can get for $10, and a nice young man as well. Please visit and support our sponsors.
Opening an individual retirement account is an excellent way to start growing your retirement nest egg. Plus, IRAs may have significant advantages for you. Learn more about IRA accounts from a personal banker at Community First. They'll work with you on how to start your IRA so you are one day closer to retirement financial security.
Living up to our name, Community First Banking Company.
Community First, member FDIC.
Weather is a service of News Talk 107.1 The Point. Contact Josh or Cody at 255-2548 for more information on making weather sponsorships part of your marketing plans.
From the Point Weather Center, for this morning we have cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny skies, high near 36 degrees. Tonight we have mostly clear skies with a low around 21. On Sunday, mostly sunny, high near 46. I'm Dawn James, and for more information, visit my1071thepoint.com.
A doomsday deadline looms in Washington on the next Alan Colmes Show. With just a week to go until the sequester hits, is America on the brink of fiscal disaster? We'll compare the rhetoric to the facts, and we'll take a close look at the blame game. Plus, you can be part of the debate. Pick up the phone, call in, make your voice heard on the next Alan Colmes Show.
Weekdays 9 to midnight. It's the Alan Colmes Show on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1 The Point.
Y'all remember the name Rosa Parks? Yeah, she's the lady who got up there and said, you know what? I don't care that your sign says I got to sit black in the back. I'm sitting up in the front seat, and there ain't a dang thing you can do to stop me. They threw her in jail, and she changed the nation. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
I was just sitting here taking, good morning, taking notes, and I had in the same line, criminals, and let go, and security, Homeland Security. And I thought,
yeah,
how stupid is this?
Well, I mean, isn't it ironic that Homeland Security is cutting loose thousands of illegal immigrants?
Yeah, it's not funny, but okay.
I mean, it's not funny. It's ironic, but it's also tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff is just out of control. This is so off the wall when you've got states that are passing gun bans that are against federal law, and the federal government, on the other hand, telling Illinois, you don't have a right to block these folks from concealed carry in the state of Illinois, and by June, you will have one in place, or else. And, I mean, and then you got a president who's sitting there swearing up and down that he wants to pass legislation to ban and take firearms away. And I don't care what else he says. I don't care what he says. Watch his actions. Ignore the liar's mouth and watch his hands. Right?
Right, and I'm for calling in treason requests to everybody.
I'm telling you, I've had people say to me, well, you throw that word around treason too much. And I'm saying, no, I'm sorry. The problem is that you don't use it enough. Right. Our nation is littered with treasonous tyrants and traitors. Let me tell you something. This makes what was going on back in the days of the McCarthy hearings look like an isolated incident. Our nation is so full of tyrants and traitors, I don't even know where we could begin. I really don't. I mean, it's not only in the federal side, too. It's state people. And they're stupid. The House leader, the chairman of the House in Utah the other day, put on hold their Second Amendment Preservation Act, which is our House Bill 436. And he put it on hold saying, I don't know if we have the right to violate federal law on this issue. Because basically what he's saying is that we don't have the right to nullify federal law. Well, I'm telling you, if the idiot did his history and he read the 1798 and 1799 declarations that were written by Kentucky and Virginia and the 1800 one, and then the one from 1820, and the one from 1826, and the one from 1844, and the one from 1847. all of them declare and use the word nullification to say that federal law, which violates the basic tenets of and the protections provided by the Constitution, is null and void on its face. And they use the word nullification. So obviously, this guy isn't even a student of our own history, and here he is, the Speaker of a House for a state the size of Utah.
He needs to be unemployed yesterday.
He needs to be tossed out by his own people. And I'm tired of this political party crap that says, well, he's a fellow Republican. I don't give a damn if he calls himself Jesus Christ. Throw him out! I've had enough. And it is time that our nation stood up and began to take action against these representatives who are violating our basic foundational tenets. Our compact is not a suicide pact. And it's time everybody started acting that way. State and individual. If your state violates your laws, then you will have an opportunity to say, I will be civilly disobedient. I will not tolerate it. I will not follow unconstitutional laws. And if you violate your oath of constitution, then I will take you to court and charge you with treason. You know why you can't do that anymore? Because the court system has eliminated our ability to go before and hold a grand jury ourselves. Now we got to wait for a prosecutor to do it. And you can't get a prosecutor to do it because he's on their side. Damn it. What are we waiting for, America? Take our nation back. I'm telling you, this is so outrageous. It is so insane. We are so on the tip, the breaking point of tyranny, that it is unbelievable that we are sitting here not even recognizing what to do next. And I understand it. I understand how frustrated and helpless people feel, because I feel that way. And I know policies and processes better than the average Joe out there. You know what? We've hamstrung ourselves to the point where our legislators have given themselves immunity and protection, and we can't stop them.
I agree.
This is flippin' insane. Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. Guys, the Homeland Security, listen to the name, releases 2,000 illegal immigrants into our midst, and had plans to release 3,000 more until somebody said, hey, wait a minute, what the heck are you guys doing? Meanwhile, Betty Joe gets in a car in a fender bender, and they find a joint on her front seat, and they lock her down with a $5,000 bail. I'm telling you, our nation is so upside down. You know why? Because the rule of law no longer applies. The rule of man, which is subject to every whim and every gust of wind by what is politically or personally, financially expedient to their benefit, rules the day. We have lost the ability to control our government because they have given themselves absolute 100% perfect immunity, passing laws utilizing definitions and sneaky language that only lawyers and scum can draft. And we've allowed it to happen. We've allowed it to happen. People in the state of Maryland and the state of New York should be lining up in the thousands, in the tens of thousands, to stand around their state capitol and say, not today. You leave office, and I don't care what the law says, you leave office or we stay right here until you do. We're not working, we're not paying taxes, we're not going to buy gasoline, we're not doing a damn thing until you're out. That, ladies and gentlemen, is civil disobedience. And you have the lawful right to do that. We have the right to redress our grievances with our government. And I'll tell you what, they have violated their oath, not the other way around. They have sworn an oath. They have sworn to uphold the federal and their state constitutions, and they have betrayed it. And you cannot violate an oath by a passage of some act or law or statute or rule or regulation. The oath, the Constitution, is bigger than the laws that petty men make. Don't you get that? You can't undercut the fabric of what the Constitution stands for by passing petty laws. You cannot do it. It's not that you can't do it. They try. But physical, natural, God-given law says, no, you may not. And it is up to us to stand in front of the House, the Senate and your Congress in your states, and federally if necessary, and say, here we stand until you leave. If you have broken your oath, you must go. And if we must hold new elections, so be it. But you have got to go. Well, state law doesn't allow for that. I don't really care. What don't you get about the fact that tyranny must be resisted at its core, irrespective of what it takes? You do have the right to stand there and say, we are being civilly disobedient. We will not buy food. We will not buy gas. We will not shop. We will not buy clothing at the Gap. We will not wear brand new shoes. We will not buy blue jeans. We will not go out there and buy new cars. We're not going to buy iPods and iPads. We are going to stand here and we are going to hold the line until you leave. Until you repeal these treasonous laws that you have passed in violation of your oath of office. We will stand and sit here, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. I get it. The OWS crowd tried it, except their purposes were immoral in the first place. There was more rampant abuse and violence and deaths and drug use and all the rest of that. That's not who the average American is. You people are better than that. You're better than that. If it means that you bring a tent and you camp there on the lawn of your capital and your state house until they repeal the treason, you can do that. We need millions upon tens of millions of Rosa Parks to stand up and say, today I will not bow to tyranny. Today, I will not bow to your unconstitutional violation of my basic foundational human rights that are unalienable and sovereign and given and granted to me by God and by nature. And you, little puny man, may not take them away. It is time for a resurgence. I don't care about how uncomfortable you're going to be, because you can't have a focaccia bread sandwich and a Starbucks coffee that costs $19. We've become a nation of pussies. Bring your camping gear, set up with 100 packages of ramen noodles, and be prepared to stay there as long as it takes. The citizens of Maryland and New York are being forced by their state governments to violate their own constitutional rights. Where are the lawsuits? Where's the ACLU? Where are the myriads of millions upon millions of attorneys in this nation who don't have the courage to stand up and back up their play? Where are you now? I want to know. Where are you, all of you attorneys? Well, I don't have the time or the affordability to do pro bono work. I have to feed my family too, and, well, I don't want to disparage my good name in front of the court. You pathetic sap. You make me sick. Get off your Brooks Brothers shirt, roll up your sleeves, and do what your oath and your American heritage demand of you. The right thing. Stop worrying about whether or not you can sue Mabel McGillicuddy's insurance company for $1,000. Sell your soul to the devil for that? You should be ashamed of yourself. I'll be back in a minute.
The area's best selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories can only be found at West Plains Pawn and Jewelry, your Class 3 dealer for automatic weapons and suppressors, including Gemtech and Huntertown, with a great selection of holsters, slings, magazines, and gun storage options. West Plains Pawn and Jewelry will also do special orders. With new arrivals every week, the area's best selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories can only be found at West Plains Pawn and Jewelry, 1713 West U.S. Highway 160, or shop online at westplainspawn.com.
Hi, America. It's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Congressman John Campbell is overseeing the Federal Reserve. That's right. He is chairman of the subcommittee that oversees the Federal Reserve, and he is sitting in for me. So any question that you have ever had about the Federal Reserve, now is the time to ask it. 1-800-520-1234. Congressman John Campbell in for me on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
Sundays from 6 till 7. Following Money Talk with Bob Brinker, it's the Weekend Journal with Hugh Hewitt on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1.
Last time on the Dennis Miller Show.
United States Postal Service on Tuesday announced plans. They're launching a line of men's apparel and accessories to be sold under the brand name Rain, Heat, and Snow. The apparel said to be very fashionable, as long as you don't mind the fact that it doesn't work on the weekend. And all of it, even the black tie look, involves knee-high black socks and shorts.
Hot. Weekdays from 9 till noon, it's the Dennis Miller Zone on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1. The further we reach out, the closer we all become. Hey, it's Nate Cooper here with the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1 The Point. I invite you to join us Sunday mornings. The program is a combination of local and national known speakers. So I encourage you to do two things. Listen in on Sunday mornings from 8 until noon and find out how you can become a sponsor of one of the programs. Just call our offices at 255-0427. Beyond the Point, Sundays on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1.
Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Almighty God forbid. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Is your life so sweet, and the fiction of your utopian peace so dear, that you would purchase it at the price of your chains and your slavery? Are you that shallow? New York, Maryland, is life so dear and your peace so sweet that you will purchase it with your slavery and chains? Is it? Is it really? Ask yourself that question, and ask it until those words are emblazoned on your heart and your spirit and your mind. Ask yourself that question. until the answer becomes so apparent. Memorize that phrase and repeat it to yourself once, 10, 100 times a day. Is life so dear, or your peace so sweet? Is it? Do you have a life? You call it life? What is your life? Is it that mindless drone work that you do day in and day out in an effort to pay the debt that you have enslaved yourself with? To pay for your little happy car or your little shoebox house? Or the credit card debt that you've wrapped around your neck like a millstone with a chain? For the iPod and the iPad? And the fancy clothes and the fine meals? You have enslaved yourself, America, and you have enslaved yourself with self-made chains and prisons of your own design and your own greed and avarice. And you let these monsters walk among you and eat your children. You let monsters roam among you and eat your substance and eat your children. They chain your children and they torture them in front of your face, and you have nary the courage to stop it, because they may take what's yours away. Your greed, your narcissism are shameful. Utterly and absolutely shameful. Your comfort, your peace is above your life and above the lives of your children. You are so corrupted in your soul, you don't even have the courage to stand up and take it back. You call this peace? You call this peace? The price of bread rises. The price of gasoline has climbed through the roof. Our nation is in disarray, inhabited by traitors and tyrants from nations abroad. The problem is us. The problem is you. The problem is that you would rather vote based on what your pocket can gather, based on what free things you can have, than to support the foundations of the liberty which have granted you the ability to go earn those yourself. But you're lazy, and you're arrogant about your laziness. You're arrogant about your self-indulgence. It's my right. You don't know the first meaning of the word right. With those rights and privileges come responsibilities. And you demand all the rights and all the privileges but you've abdicated all your responsibilities. You lawyers out there, where are you? Where are you now? You who have sworn to uphold an oath, you who went out and got that training and that knowledge and that wisdom and that education. And what are you using it for? Your own self-aggrandizement and the filling of your pocket. And you're afraid to lose your little shoebox on a hill and your fancy little Lexus and your tainted, pathetic, and corrupted reputation. You're afraid of censure. You're afraid of conflict. You're afraid to be aggressive. You show deference to the master who doesn't even have your best interest at heart. America, we are dying. We are dying. Our greatness vanishes before our very eyes, and we don't even reach out a hand to grasp and stop it. God forgive us. God forgive us.
Let's get to the point.
Well, let me get to the point.
FM News Talk for the Ozarks is